Hey everybody, this is Sally. I am your Monday Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works vlogger, and I'm sorry I'm a little tardy today. I should have done this yesterday, but I wanted to give it some thought and I had a busy morning. So here we go. What do I know now about WLS that I did not know or expect when I was pre-op? That's a really good question, and it's funny because I initially took my clue from what Rosemary talked about and what the way she praised the sentence, and it made me think much more about there are different ways that you can interpret the word know. I mean, there's a head knowledge, and then there's an internal kind of knowledge that's in here, a self-awareness knowledge, and I think it's almost unbelievable what you learn on a self-awareness level, not to even begin to mention all the things you learn practical, head knowledge, experiential level that you couldn't even imagine pre weight loss surgery. So there's so much information thrown at you and you don't absorb but only a part of it, and then it's really trial by fire as you're in the trenches doing this once you've had your surgery. So here are some of the things. I wrote things down because I wanted to not ramble, and some things are really important. So number one, this is the one, the internal knowledge part I will do. I never knew before surgery that I would lose almost half my body weight, that I would actually weigh 130 pounds and can wear size 4 jeans and pants, and that I would lose totally the form I'd known all my life as a pear and have broader shoulders than I have hips. It's beyond anything I could have imagined, thought about, dreamed about. Never would have presumed. I never had a goal exactly. My goal was just do it. Just do it. Do everything you have to do to make this work, because this is it. This is your only and final last chance to walk on this earth in a different body. And you don't know how badly I wanted that. More than anything, more than I wanted to breathe. That's how much I wanted it, because it affected me emotionally all of my life, and I'm not getting any younger. So that was important to me. And what I learned was so many more things were possible than I could have imagined. I also learned that I've said this before, when you get on that surgery train and you've done it, you can't screw with your head. You've got to have a positive mental attitude and don't play mind games with yourself. And just know that every day you are working towards a goal, but you don't think about the destination, you think about the daily choices and the process. It's like getting on a train, and when you start to lose, even if it's slow, which is a good thing, the longer you're on that train, the longer it takes you to lose, the more time you have to reinvent yourself, to own who you are here in your mind, in your mental picture, when you look at yourself. There's so much time afforded you if you're losing kind of moderately to slow, to really reinvent and change and grow and morph into the new you when you reach your destination. And when you reach your destination, whatever that is, you don't really have but so much control over that. Your body decides that. But as long as you're on the train and playing the game correctly, that train that you're on toward your new life will stop when it's ready to stop. And you have no choice but to ride it to the end. To jump off prematurely is to shortchange your destiny. So don't try to gum up the works with starting to eat halfway down. Oh, I've lost 100 pounds. I got another 100 to go. I think I'm going to backslide now. Oh, 6 months is a long time. That's the longest I've ever been on any diet. I can't do this anymore. I'm backsliding now. Don't backslide. You get on the train. You get off when it stops. And you have all that time to reinvent yourself along the way. So when you get there, you're ready to go when you get off the train. Okay? Let's see. The final kind of fluffy stuff that I wanted to say was I never knew when I started this journey, never knew that I would come out the other end, really loving myself. Finally, in this lifetime, I am able to embrace who I am, not have any self-hatred for myself or low esteem, that I feel so whole. I feel so complete. I never in my life have felt like I was really good enough, that I was so flawed from being fat. Now, kudos to anybody who never had head issues. I had crap load of head issues directly related to my weight all my life, okay? All my life. But I never would have known that the minute I reached the end of my journey and took that fat suit off, really, that the inside stuff I'd worked so hard to fix along the way in my life that I never could would be gone. The baggage came off of me just like the fat came off of me. It got dumped on the wayside and I'm left it there. And I'm never going back. I never knew I could feel as good about myself as I just assumed every other person in the world that was normal felt. So there. I blather on. That was 6 minutes on all my gushy stuff. Sorry. Here's the practical crap. This is more cut and dried. Practical things that I've learned that I didn't know pre-op. That if you throw up a lot the first 3 months, which I did, and I threw up a lot the first 3 months, never thought anything. I thought everybody's doing this. That you will be thiamine deficient, B1 deficient. So if you're puking a lot the first 3 months, not the end of the world, just learn how to eat slower. You'll be B1 deficient. No big deal. Go get a B1 pill. They're cheap. Take them. Your B1 comes right back up. Not the end of the world. But I was kind of shocked when I found that out at 3 months out. Okay. You really can go through menopause. I don't know if my camera's shutting down, but it goes dim. So let me just hit it again. You really can go through menopause the same year of your post-op, your first year out of surgery, and lose weight. I didn't know that before surgery, and I really worried about that because my timing was like, oh God, this is going to be exactly at the same time. And sure enough, boom, it was. So there, it works, whether you're going through menopause or not. I did not know about late-stage dumping. Now, let me tell you, there's a lot of stuff about late-stage dumping out there if you go look for it. It's also known as reactive hypoglycemia. It's something I have to deal with more than the average person, weight loss surgery, RNY. I was kind of hypoglycemic, undiagnosed. You know, I always had blood sugar issues dieting before, you know, drop, I'd be exhausted, spike up, I had energy. And I have the same kind of issues, but it's a little scarier now. It's fine 99% of the time, but the one time I do something stupid like go to tea with my sister last week where we had scones and little pastry things. And so if I eat a combination of fat and sugar and carb put together, I'm okay for the time. My heart might flutter just a little bit, little heart palpitations from too much sugar. But that's nothing. It's the 2 hours later when you think of things peachy and you're going on with your life, and boom, you feel like you're sinking into the floor and your legs are like lead weights and you're starting to sweat really heavily in your head, especially right here, and you feel like the blood's draining from your face and you have to sit down. My God, you want to lay down. You don't care if you're in public and everybody's walking by you. You just want to lay flat on the ground and stare at the sky. And this happens pretty often when I'm outdoors. I'm walking the dog. I have to sit on the curb. That's happened twice in the last 6 months there. First time it happened, I was in California last year in the middle of a botanical, like, arid garden thing. Oh, I thought I was dying. I had no idea what had happened. It's the first time it had happened. It was scary bad. I couldn't move for 30 minutes. I had to sit 30 minutes to be able to walk to the parking lot. And a man took pity on me and gave me some water. But anyway, I carry glucose pills with me now, just in case it ever happens again. If you don't have glucose pills, put a little packet of sugar in your purse, knock that sugar back, and it starts to, your body puts out too much insulin in response to something you've done, and you've got to get the sugar to rebalance it again. So anyway, that's not diabetes, it's late stage dumping, and it doesn't happen to everybody, it just happened to me. The last thing I would say is my vitamin D deficiency. I didn't know a thing about vitamin D. My vitamin D went from 54 in May to 5 the next December. And 54 is a good number. Could be higher, but 30 is the lowest you wanted to get, and mine was a 5, and I'm still waiting to get retested for that. But I also did a lot of research on D, and D is an awesome, awesome, important vitamin. Keeps us from all kinds of cancer, and most Americans are D deficient, and you cannot get enough from sitting in the sun. You can't get enough, or from our food. So I also know that D is directly linked to obesity, and that morbidly obese people have major issues with vitamin D, and D is linked to your metabolism. And if you take more D, your metabolism just might rev up a little bit, folks, because I was stable at year 1. Okay, and like 4 months later, or 3 months later, or 2 months later, when I started to take my mega doses of D, I saw the scale start to shift. Now, granted, it's only shifted about 3 pounds, but I was perfectly fine at 134 to 135, 133 to 136. That was kind of where I was. Well, now I'm at 130 to 133. So just that D alone has jumped my metabolism up again. So look to vitamin D. Research that on metabolism. I didn't know that. And finally, I didn't know that feeling strong and healthy and toned underneath loose skin was an awesome feeling, and that I would die if I couldn't walk every day and body pump a couple of times a week. Nothing makes me feel better than being strong and healthy. I never would have known that would have been the most important, most wonderful thing, besides loving myself, there was about being thin. It's feeling really vital and healthy and full of energy, and I cannot wait to be 90. Well, I can wait to be 90, but I know that my old age is going to rock, and I'm not going to be disintegrating and wasting away. The best is yet to be. The best for me is yet to be. So I wish you all well. Sorry I went on so long. What did you learn about WLS after you had it that you didn't know before? Make a response video or let us know what you think. Appreciate you guys. Take care. Bye. Oh, where's the stop button? There it is.